lines of good progress. One of the problems with levels was that there was an expectation that progress would be a straight line for all children, and the thing that would change, depending on their ability, would be the gradient of that line. But when we researched depth of learning, we realised that children will plateau at a certain depth of learning for some time because they really need to get some skills embedded. They really need to become a habit rather than just ticking them off and saying they've been achieved. So at the bottom of the screen, the yellow line of good progress represents good progress for a child who was emerging at the end of early years. The blue line represents good progress for a child who was expected at the end of early years. And the green line represents good progress for a child who was exceeding at the end of early years. You'll see up the left-hand side of the screen, we're using the cumulative depth of learning index to map out for each term what we expect children to be at in terms of their depth of learning. Now these lines are customizable in depthoflearning.com, but this is what we use as a starting point. And we can use these lines for two things. Firstly, to forecast end of key stage attainment. Secondly, to measure progress from starting point. Let's have a look at how we would use them to forecast future attainment. The child here now has a depth of learning index cumulative of 6, and so therefore we can follow the line of good progress, and we find that by the end of the key stage they're going to be at a depth of learning index of 8. So by following the line we can use this as a forecast tool. If the child is above or below the line, we alter their forecast by the amount that they're above or below that line. So that's the forecast tool. But we've also got the progress tool as well. The progress tool looks at the line of good progress and asks simply, is the child meeting their line of good progress? So if they are, the blue circle on this diagram represents that they're meeting their line of good progress. And of course, if they're above or below it, we'd be able to chart how much above or below they are their line of good progress. These lines of good progress have an expectation of where children should be at any particular term throughout their time in school. So depth of learning is always asking, are they meeting their line of good progress?